All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with Mather's 125 Parade. Thank you all for coming. Wonderful to see everybody. A beautiful day. Make sure you all stay hydrated with your liquid of choice. First up we have, we're very pleased to have the RCMP. The RCMP car is driven by Corporal Scott Linklater. They are followed by Cartwright Mather Branch number 86. Driving the truck is Bob Yake in his 2016 F1 Lariat. With assistance from the Pilot Mountain and Crystal City Legions. Crystal City District Commander Jack Daly is here, and the Pilot Mountain Legion Color Party assisting. Following the Legion truck and Bob Yake is another one of an entry from Bob Yake, a 1978 Mercury Grand Marquis. This car was purchased at Frank Collier Ford in Killarney. Brian Cooper of Cartwright was the previous owner. Bob is the third owner of this car. Next up, we are very, very pleased to have Allie Mullen. Allie was a Medicine Hat Exhibition and Stampede Queen in 2015, followed by serving a year as Miss Rodeo Canada in 2017. She has been tremendously supported throughout these ventures by her hometown communities and is pleased to return today and carry the flag to celebrate Mather in the parade. The old guy with her is her dad, if anybody cares. Up next, we have Laura Lee Harms from San Diego from the Mather Arena Board. The local arena board has been converted from ice surface to sand for local horse enthusiasts. Friends of the arena are riders Teresa McConnell, Nee Yake, Tanya Watkins, Nee Harms, and Cassie Livingston. Next up, we have the entry of Eric and Bessie Redpath family. There's been 6 generations of Redpaths living in the Mather area. And judging by the amount of red shirts I've seen, they're all here. Next up is Andreas and Cheryl Cordston, Nee Redpath. A vintage car is a 1954 Rolls-Royce Silver Dawn. Next up is the Burns family from Cartwright, Burns family Perchins. The Burns have been showing their Perchin horses for over 30 years. Dave and Thunder are pulling the wagon today and are involved in many hay and sleigh rides. 3 generations are here today enjoying their favorite hobby.
Larry Redpath with an 830 Case tractor, bought new in 1968 from Cartwright. Next is a replica of Rock Lake School, which Larry has built. Irene Redpath was one of the teachers.
Irene Lee's and Ruth Harris taught them. Larry Redpath's great-grandkids and their mother are in the class. Next up, from Bob Melvin to Crystal City, we have a 1952 Chevy 2-door Standard. Andrew and Minnie Melvin purchased this car from Pembina Motors in Manitou in 1955 for the whopping sum of $900. The car was previously owned by Warren Falls of Crystal City. Minnie continued to drive the car until 1989, and at the age of 91, she made the decision she really didn't need a driver's license. Next up, we have the small family of the Melvins. The Melvins run the float are the 5th and 6th generation of Mather homesteaders. James Melvin and Jane Gordon in 1898, and John White and Martha Laughlin in 1883. Next up, we have Clayton Kunzelman. Apologies if I got the name wrong. From Wabanesa, horse team and wagon. Also riding, Charlie and Margaret Baldak, 2 Perchin horses and a wagon. They do sleigh rides in the winter on their own property. Next up, we have Dean Melvin driving his dad David's 1964 Plymouth Valiant convertible. Following him is Scott Melvin. I told you there was a lot of Melvins. in a 1960 Hillman Minx. Next up is Craig and Angela Gardner from Winnipeg, originally from Crystal City. Pioneer Transportation. Tom and Jerry Purebred Morgans are pulling Craig and Angela in a covered wagon. The wagon is totally rebuilt by Craig using an old frame. They use this outfit on trail rides. P.S. Tom and Jerry are for sale. This is Adam Harms. He cleans up poop. Look at that form. Next up, we have Don McLennan in a Case 1200. This is a 1966 model. It is the first year of production. It produces about 135 horsepower. It steers with both the front wheels and the rear. It came from Kenton, Manitoba. The only 24-volt tractor they made. Vince Claus is driving a 1970 Case 870. This tractor is a 1970 model, the first year of production. It produces approximately 85 horsepower.
Elaine McLennan in a 1968 Mustang, previously owned by Elaine's father.
Off their farm every spring. Their boys Adam and wife Kira, Tanner and fiance Cassie, and their daughter Emma are all involved in the grain and cattle operation, making it a fourth-generation family farm. Next we have Scott Lees in a 1941 U. Bought new in 1941 by Hampson Lees from his father William Lees, equipment business in Mather. Next up is Jack Bullock from Glenora in a 1961 Case IH Farm All 460 diesel.
Carl Gordon from Balder, 1961 Cockshut self-propel, model 128 with a 261 Chrysler industrial engine, 6-cylinder. Last used in 78 in Selkirk area. Carl bought in 2018, has been fixing it up.
Sorry, that's our first mix-up. Glenn Mitchell from Balder. Glenn and Marley Mitchell of a 1962 IHC Model 303 is driven today by Lloyd Williamson from Belmont. Next up, we have Cartwright Hagen Auto. Cartwright Hagen Auto was opened in 1999 and is owned and operated by Chad and Jolene McDonald. They offer parts and repairs for all makes and models.
Peter and Carolyn Schramm, owners of North Fork Ranch Supplies, spreading the BS since 1985. Driving a 1953 AR John Deere, pulling a 1955 number 17 New Idea manure spreader. Phil and Janet Lees started out as Phil Lees Hauling. Phil's driving a 1985 R model Mack, oldest working truck in the company. Phil is pleased to be hauling gravel in the surrounding area for 41 years. Congratulations on Mather and District from 125th. Derek and Katie Young and family, owner-operator of a local septic service and porta potty rentals for Clearwater and Mather area. They have been in business for 2 years as of July 1st, supported in the local area. Businesses continue to grow and expand. They are thankful for their customers.
Next up is an entry from Cartwright Town and Country Golf Club. The Town and Country Golf Club of Cartwright would like the warmest wishes to Mather on their 125th. Next up is Kathy Thiessen of Crystal City Health and Flowers. Kathy worked as a part-time florist for 2 years, and then the opportunity came up to buy the business in May of 2022. That was an entry from Westoba Credit Union. Would you guys keep going there? Jeez. Westoba Credit Union is great supporters to its hometowns and surrounding communities. It was extremely exciting when the Mather Hall Board found out they won recipients of a $10,000 grant. This money was used to convert the cloakroom, a meeting space, into a bright and inviting coffee bar to be enjoyed by all in the community. Be sure to check it out.
Hello, did you find your daughter?
Yes, I
Good.
did. She came the back way.
Next up is 1984 Ford Explorer. George Hildebrand Sr. bought this truck new, then he passed it down to his grandson Chris in 1998. It didn't take long for this truck to catch out a young girl from Paramount, and the rest is history. It obviously was a truck, it wasn't his good looks. Bob Yates bought the truck in 08 after he did a full restore, including the 351 Windsor, and sold it back to the Hildebrand family in 2018. Next up is Evan and Jan Harms in a 1995 Camaro.
I remember that.
Next up, we have Bart Mayo driving his midlife crisis. I mean his 1967 Pontiac Firebird. It was salvaged from a barn outside Vauxhall, Alberta, and had a frame-off restoration. It sports a 326 engine, which was unique to Canada. Looking good, Marley. Next up is Terry Watson, Ford pickup truck. $1970. Next up we have Milton Turnbull from Mather, driving a 1986 Lincoln. It was owned by Milton Turnbull's grandson, Jamie Ranger now owns it, his grandson, lovingly restored it to better the new condition. Now here we have Ken Robbins, 1956 Oldsmobile Super 88 convertible, owned by Ken and Bonnie Robbins of Rock Lake. Next up, we have the RM Cartwright and Roblin grader. It's a 2018 John Deere 772 GP. Motor grader puts on lots of hours maintaining and upgrading roads in summer and plowing snow in winter. Today we have Stanley Barber behind the levers. Stanley has been with the municipality since 08 when he was hired as an employee of the RM of Roblin. Next up,
Another Cartwright Roblin float, Wyatt Livingston driving the municipal new four-wheel drive Kubota open station tractor. The municipality will be using this machine both mowing as well as snow blowing the sidewalks during the winter. Municipality was fortunate to have Wyatt return for another summer's work.
Next up, we have Rennie Newsler. This car was bought by Alphonse and Mary Newsler in 1974 new. Then was bought by Renee and Lorraine in later years. Next up, we have Richard and Rich Stokes, a 1949 Cox Shet 30. It was restored 5 years ago.
This is the Beer family, came to Manitoba in 1888. The land is now farmed today in the 5th generation by Tyler and Scott Beer. The 6th generation is already practicing the tractor and driving skills. Ruth Beer, in attendance today, is believed to be the oldest family member resident at 95 years of age. McLeod float. The float is decorated with a model of a Dunvegan castle, the historic seat of McLeod, the chief of the clan Dunvegan, is located in the Isle of Skye off the west coast of Scotland. The castle model was originally built by Lauren and Norman McLeod from photos in the Clan McLeod book for the 100th anniversary of the 1999 Mather. Bob Argue. This is a 1956 Dodge Fargo owned by Bob and Debbie Argue Cartwright, with their son Brendan driving and Shay and Axel riding along with him. The rest of the crew is in the back with Bob's and his sister Pat. Bob and Pat both grew up in Mather. This is the Hildebrands. Nick, Chris, and Andrew. There's the kids with the two side-by-sides, which is the fourth generations of Hildebrands south of Mather, also known as Mile 2 Farms. Next is Nick driving the Mather Mud Hens 8N Ford. It mowed the grass up at the Ball Diamond for a decade or two. Next is the Lee's family float. The tractor's a number 3020 John Deere tractor purchased from Corny Petco, driven by Trevor Lees. He is the fifth generation of both the Lees and Yule families. The Lees family came to the area in 1904. Today on the float is four generations of that family, David and Marilyn, accompanied by a few of their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. David also happens to be the most senior resident of Mather. Along with other family members is our newest Mather area resident, Blake, who is just 1 month old. Marilyn Lees is the granddaughter of Alex and Margaret Yule, Alexandria and Margaret Yule, who came to the farm in the Rock Lake area in 1906. This same piece of land has been continually farmed by descendants for 5 generations. Next is Jace Guilford driving Mather Arena's Zamboni, purchased in 1998 from Rocanville, Saskatchewan, with the funds from the Centennial Bonspiel of 1997. It served us moderately well until its sale to Jace and the Crystal City Group to maintain their outdoor skating trail. Next is the Taylor Triplet Farms. Taylors have lived on southwest of 3-2-13 since 1911. Named Taylor Triplets in the late 80s, it has remained a family farm. These girls are the fifth generation: Kinley, Macy, Scarlett, and Arwen, driven by Mark and Brenda, third generation. Next is Cartwright-Robin Municipality. Chris Johnson is driving the emergency response trailer that was purchased in 2020. The municipality was fortunate enough to receive a grant to make this purchase possible. The ERT is housed with various emergency supplies and would serve as emergency operations center in the event of an emergency within our municipality. Next is Lawrence Clausen driving the Pumper number 1. Is a 2010 International, purchased in 2011. Cartwright-Robin Volunteer Fire Department is very pleased to have approximately 15 members that has dedicated their time and training, monthly drills, and of course response to fire. We appreciate their time and dedication to our municipality and surrounding area. Next is Pumper number 2. It is a 1990 GMC 20. It was in 2021. Our volunteer fire department was very busy with responding to 19 calls throughout the year. Last year, the fire department was fortunate enough to receive a grant to purchase a quick response truck. This will be a rapid response vehicle that will prove to be both versatile and adaptable. Following that is our Cartwright-Robin ambulance.
Next up, we have John Vincent. Jack and Mark Vincent spent their entire married life in Mather raising John and Julie. Linda Hockman bought the former Kemp home in 04 where Carolyn and Kenna lived. The driver today is John, riding shotgun his mother Margaret. On the trailer are Linda Hockman, daughter Kelly Vincent, John's wife, Julie and partner Frank Lemieux, married right since 04, granddaughter and niece Kenneth and Toe.
Hey, Mark.
Following behind in the golf cart are cousins Ty Vincent, John and Kelly's youngest, and Adriano Karen, Julie's son. Next up, we have the Crystal City Lions Club. Members of the Crystal City Lions Club congratulate Maker on their celebration. Next up is Greg Paulson from Crystal City, driving a 1970 Chevy half-ton custom sport truck with factory air conditioning. Does the air conditioning still work? You bet. Next is Ike Reimer from Crystal City in a 1938 Pontiac two-door sedan. Next is Joyce Reimer driving a 1960 Chevy Apache truck. We now have Glenn Shaw from Crystal City in a 1972 GMC K2500 4x4. Next is Jim Teeson from Crystal City in a 1970 Cougar, Mercury Cougar, bought in Arizona. Next is Harry Kefiak in a 1971 Mercury Cougar convertible. Harvey Zacharias from Crystal City in an Olds Cutlass. $1976. It's Courtney Clausen in an 806 International.
This is Elsie Clausen, Corny's wife, driving a 1983 Oldsmobile 98 Regal Brougham.
Next, we have Louise Fire Department. This thing is called the Beast. The Beast is a 2020 Peterbilt vacuum tanker. She holds 4,000 US gallons. It can be loaded in 4 minutes and unloads in 2.5. She's a 550 gallon a minute fire pump and has full pump and roll capabilities, making it amazing at field fires. She goes out on every call and loves her job.
This is Louise Fire Department from the municipality of Louise. This is called the Responder. We received this new Ford F-150 in September of 21. The truck was sent to JP Auto Body Shop to be customized into a fire truck and placed in the service in January of 22. Received a provincial fire protection grant to buy this stock truck with the municipality of Louise support, and with fundraising to be completed the truck with the help from Lions Club and the community. There is a 300-gallon tank and pump on order for the truck. The truck is in use on calls in the municipality traffic control, and the grass fires are also main use. Next is Dan Stewart from Crystal City with Louise's old 1967 F600 fire truck, formerly from the Crystal City Fire Department. This is Brian and Penny Burton family from Cartwright, also known as Oak Tree Farms. It's a Massey 1100, 1967 model, which was bought from, previously owned by Donnie Bramwell, then David Kinley. Brian bought the tractor in 2018 and restored it the following year. The trailer was built as a replica of one that his dad owned in the 60s and 70s back in England.
Here's Chairman Audrey Cockline and a 1964 Chevrolet Impala 4-door hardtop. Next we have Maurice and Jane Geddes, Pilot Mound, and a 1968 Dodge Monaco 500. Considered a rare car as only 4,568 of this model were produced. Purchased from Binkley Motors and branded in 1976. And the rides and handles are smooth as silk. David Hyde from Pilot Mound, and a 1953 Massey Harris 44 diesel high arch row crop tractor. Was the first tractor I learned to operate as a boy with my father John. I did a 2-year restoration on it and returned it to its former glory.
This is Green Valley Equipment from Killarney. This is a John Deere 412R John Deere sprayer, 2022. It's a signature edition. From here it's going to Hildebrand Farms, better known as Mile 2. Nick, Chris, and Andrew Hildebrand. Next is Dale Lamley from Cartwright, driving a 1950 W4 McCormick. Behind, he is pulling a braking plow owned by Alan Melvin. It's a McCormick Deering braking plow, model number 459, a 1942 vintage, just restored recently. Next is Neil Gow from Turtle Mountain Flywheel Club in Turtle Mountain, in Killarney, sorry. A 1940 John Deere B. It was donated by John Hyde. Adopted and cared for by Neil Gow at the Flywheel Club. Next is David Livingston from Cartwright, a 1946 John Deere A. This is Harms Seeds and Mile 2 meets, Mile 3 meets, working out of Mather, the seed plant.
Next up we have Mile 3 Meat, it's also a subsidiary of Willow Creek Colony. They are now a licensed meat shop and ready to meet your needs. Next up, we have Nutrient Ag Solutions, and a Dodge 1-ton truck and a 5-ton pull-type fertilizer spreader. Hardest these guys have worked all summer. Next up, we have Kelly Livingston from Cartwright and a 1974 440 Dodge Challenger. Next up, we have a float put in by Barry and Dave Pogson. Grandpa Roy Pogson Circular Sawmill, 1940 to 1950 era. Pogsons have been farming since 1901 in the Rock Lake District. Next up, we have a 1963 John Deere Combine, 24.5-inch cylinder, 35 bushel grain tank. And if that doesn't tell you something about how good John Deere are, folks, still runs. we got one more entry. It's Alan Mallon, 1957, passenger carbine, 24-inch cylinder, 8-foot header, 30-bushel grain tank.
This is Alan Malvin's 1957 Massey Harris number 35. 8-foot header, 24-inch cylinder, and a 30-bushel grain tank.
Right on cue, everyone. Here's Alan Mallon.
Did you forget the gas?
Thank goodness he was last, eh?
I don't know what you do. Should we push him? I just thought, maybe.